shots. First we shut them down, then we open up shop. Really sit around just in case y'all forgot.
Wild. But OJ Howard, pretty decent pickup since some douchebag went around and took all the good tight ends. Mike Williams, great pickup. I said this before. I don't want to miss this. So when you're drafting, stick to your cheat sheet because I messed up and didn't pick Mike Williams. I went with AJ Green instead. Hopefully that's not going to cost me in the long run. I really like AJ Green. I hope he bounces back. So we'll see what happens there. What do you think about Sheldon's team besides that point?
Really, I like Sheldon's team a lot, man. He definitely stole Odell Beckham from me. I'm really big on Odell. At one point in time, I was actually considering taking Odell at 6. I was really strongly considering it, but I just couldn't take the risk. The hip concern, whatever, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but that is what scared me away from Odell. But other than that, I really think him and Baker are going to have a huge season. They've been connecting. Baker's been throwing darts, man, this preseason. Have you been watching?
Yeah.
Like, he's been throwing straight darts, and he hasn't had anybody on the field. So Odell's going to eat. Sheldon has a really sneaky good team. The Ravens at one point were going to be my defense. I'm not sure if he knows about this, but they lost their top cornerback, one of their top cornerbacks, a couple weeks ago.
And their whole linebacking core. That's the reason I did not draft them. They got replacements. They got Earl Thomas, but at the same time, dude, I love the Ravens defense, but I don't know if they're going to produce fantasy numbers like that.
But he was smart.
Yeah. I mean, the points are going to be there. I'm talking strictly like defensive stops, though. Like, they're not going to let teams score like that just because it's the Ravens system. But at the same time, you just don't know about turnovers and sacks, and I don't know.
You got to think about that division, man. They have a tough division this year when it comes to playing offensive teams, man. Your boy, your number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Pittsburgh, no matter what you say, I don't care who they lost, they're gonna still produce numbers with Big Ben back there. So I mean, that's a tough division. They're gonna put up a lot of numbers, and for the Ravens to be missing pieces on that defense, but I will give him credit on this. He did come back around and take the Browns defense, which I really feel like they're gonna be really good. What do you think about them?
They've in preseason, I know it's preseason, but these dudes have been putting up sacks like left and right.
Yeah.
I really hope the pass rush can keep up like it has been. Their young secondary is still going to produce. I really like that secondary, actually. Cleveland was one of those teams I really wanted to go with. I was stuck between Cleveland and Carolina, and I ended up not choosing either one of them because I just didn't trust them in the long run. I feel like Cleveland may be one of those teams that likes to have shootouts with people, so I didn't want to risk it with that. So
don't risk the biscuit.
We'll see, though. What else did we cover last time? Oh, yeah, Geronimo Allison instead of MVS. Sheldon. I want a response with that one because I really thought you were going to go Valdez-Scantling. And Justin Jackson and Pollard are great backups for Melvin Gordon and Zeke. So we'll see.
But here's the thing, and this is something that I don't like about Sheldon's roster, is he went really risky because if Justin Jackson, let's say Melvin Gordon comes back and Zeke comes back, I don't really feel like Zeke has a footing to sit out the rest of the season. He has 2 years left in his contract, so he's going to have to play. He doesn't have that Le'Veon Bell kind of contract where it is the true contract year, and he has a little bit of leverage to not sit out. So I do feel like Zeke's coming back. So if Sheldon doesn't use Tony Pollard in those first couple of weeks, and then Zeke comes back, then was that a waste of a draft pick?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a waste of a draft pick. When you're talking that late, I mean, he probably picked him up what? He's down there, man. He probably picked him up like towards the end. So at that point, you're looking at him, whoever picked up Kareem Hunt. I'm still confused about that one. It's going to be players that you're going to have to go high risk, high reward on because there's low risk, high reward. Because at that point, they're on the bottom of your bench, so there's no real risk there. I think his biggest risk is his starting lineup. Like, just looking at that, you're really trusting in the Browns offense.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Williams, you're trusting in him, who hasn't.
He hasn't been able to finish the whole season, man.
No. I would say he hasn't proven himself, but when Kareem Hunt wasn't there, he did. and he did it in crunch time too. So I mean, he's kind of a risk. But Mike Williams I think that's the best pickup for him, and I think that's the lowest pickup that
Yeah.
that he got too. That's pretty crazy. But
All right, we're gonna move on to another team here. Let's go back to rosters. See if this shows up a lot better for us. Yeah, this actually shows up a lot better. All right, so
yep.
there we go. So we'll go with starting with Time to Cooks. Hey, do you have your volume turned up on your phone or your audio still playing?
Now it is.
No, don't. No, I was just saying turn it down because I'm getting feedback and I didn't know if it was my setup or yours. So, all right, we're going. Oh, you're good. We're going Time to Cooks. That is Tucci. You want me to start this one off, or you want to start it off?
Just because you went with McCaffrey, I'm going to start this one.
All right, go ahead.
First pick with McCaffrey. I think that's smart. To me, it's a top 3 running back right now. I mean, Saquon, McCaffrey, and Kamara. You're not really wrong for picking either one. He did go AB. I'm really, really big on Antonio Brown. I'm like one of the only people in the world to have Antonio Brown still in my top 5. He picked up Tyler Boyd, which is my sleeper that I was really frustrated that I didn't get. I really wanted Tyler Boyd.
Really?
Yeah, that was my dude, man. I feel like he's going to produce, especially without AJ Green. Every time I do a Madden franchise, this dude goes off for like 1,500 yards. So it was a sign, and I didn't get him. One other one. Oh, yeah. So 2 picks I don't like with this, right?
Okay.
I hate Derrick Henry. Non-PPR leagues, Derrick Henry's a beast. PPR leagues, I don't know. Taking him that high is just still risky for me. And then why in the world he picked Zach Ertz over Kittle, I have no idea. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Ertz would go there, and you pointed this out last night. Goddard is still there, and I really like him. And he may produce, I wouldn't say Ertz numbers, but he may produce very close to Ertz. He's going to be on the field more than Ertz is what people don't really realize, too, because he does more. He blocks. He helps out in other ways that Ertz doesn't really do as often. So what do you think taking Ertz over Kittle?
For me, I'm on your side. I would have definitely taken Kittle. I just feel like, honestly, I sat with my rule, and I'm going to continue to do that in all my drafts. I'm not risking any tight end in the top 5 rounds. The only reason I say top 5 now is because if Zach Ertz falls to me in round 5, I'm obviously taking him at that value. But I'm definitely not taking anybody round 3 or lower, just because there's a lot of risk. Jimmy Garoppolo has been looking terrible. He only played in 1 game, but even in his practices, he's thrown 5 interceptions in a row. I feel like it's going to take him a while to actually heat up, and if he does heat up, and get back adjusted to the NFL game. So that's why it's sort of risky taking Kittle so early, is I don't know what I'm going to get from Jimmy Garoppolo. And he's the one that's delivering the ball to the tight end. So we'll see on that one.
That's kind of my mindset, too. When you really stop and think about it, look what he did with C.J. Beathard. Like a no-name. This dude put up numbers. So Jimmy G, coming from the Patriots system, who weirdly likes to hit tight ends all the time. I don't know. It's like a win-win for me. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. Kittle's their only option. Dante Pettis came up strong, so I like him. But I just think Kittle's going to have a crazy year. But we'll go over that later because that's my dude. So
okay, and I'm all for it. I just some of the roster breakdowns that I really see some of his weak spots. Honestly, I'm not big on his bench. Except until I get to Kalen Ballage. That was huge, man. He was almost – I had my fingers crossed he was going to fall to me. That was my deep round sleeper. He's looking really good, man. Have you been seeing any film with him, or have you been keeping up with that situation any?
Oh, Ballage is my huge sleeper. He was the first person I pointed out, yeah. No, yeah. Ballage is somebody I really kicked myself over not getting, but I just saw value in other places, I guess. But Ballage is somebody to definitely take in deeper leagues because Kenyon Drake hasn't been producing like he's supposed to be.
Oh no.
Kenyon Drake's supposed to be the dude, and he's just not cutting it right now. So Balaj is definitely the backup. Last year, he put up, if anybody's paying attention, he put up a lot of numbers at the end of the year that people need to pay attention to. I'm talking 5+ yards per carry. So
Yep.
that's something to take note of.
So I got a quick question for you. So I know you're really big on Tyler Boyd going into the season. You said he was one of your sleepers. Have you looked at the schedule that he's going to be facing without AJ Green, man? It's scary.
It is, but how long do you expect him to be without AJ Green? Because he produces his best numbers being the 2 guy too.
And I get that, but I mean, the first couple weeks, and this is what I like about Tucci's roster, is that he doesn't have to use Tyler Boyd. Right now, he has Tyler Boyd in as a starter, and he'll probably leave him in, but he does have other options. Corey Davis is a lower risk, high reward kind of guy.
Sutton too.
Cortland Sutton. He has some options. But, I mean, just looking at this schedule, let's see, the first game of the season, he goes against the Seahawks. They have a young up-and-coming corner over there, man. He actually had really good numbers last year. I want to say he was top 10. Help me out. What's his name? His brother is the one with just the one hand.
Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin.
Shaquem and Shaquille. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yep.
He was actually locking down some receivers last year, man. So Tyler Boyd's going to have to deal with that. Then he turns around, he's got to deal with Richard Sherman in that defense. And then the whole time, you got to remember that you're trusting Andy Dalton against the rush. The 49ers are going to have a powerful front seven this year, man. So it's going to be hard to get that ball out. With no tight end, who's their tight end this year? Is what's his name? Is he back? He's always hurt, man.
Eifert.
Yeah, Eifert. Is he still with them?
I know he's not hurt. I know he's still with them. But they have somebody else, Uzoma?
Croft.
They still got CJ Uzoma, right?
Yeah. Something. I thought his name is something like that. Yeah. Uzoma.
He's the one I was actually looking at because there was I'm pretty sure his name was Uzoma, but that's the dude that was putting in work last year. Because Eifert he's not Eifert anymore, and people need to pay attention to that.
Yeah, give it up, man, because it's gone. I mean, looking at it, and then look at this week. So let's say AJ Green isn't back by week 3. Now you're looking at putting him in against a Tre'Davious White. Oh, my gosh. And we know he's going to lock him up. Like, there's no way around it. That guy locks up 20-time better receivers, you know?
I mean, so Tyler Boyd did go off for 1,000+ yards last year. Yeah. Like, that's something not to put on the side burner. He can still come in and beat cornerbacks. It's not like he's just going to get completely shut down. I mean, cornerbacks have bad days. Sometimes they're not running the right systems. It's all on the defense. But Sean McDermott, great defensive coach, right? Whenever they play, so wait, that's Tre'Davious, right? I'm thinking of the right team. Okay.
Tre'Davious White with Bills.
Bills, yeah. So Sean McDermott, right? Whenever he was with the Panthers still, he liked to run that loose secondary and make people pick him apart. So Panthers would get picked apart by good quarterbacks. So if Andy Dalton actually shows up like he's supposed to and can hit Tyler Boyd, you can pick apart that Bills defense. It just takes a lot of work. A lot of work.
So are we putting confidence in Andy Dalton to do that?
Sadly, you have to.
Okay.
Sadly, you have to.
All right, let's move on
Andy
to
Dalton has potential. We've seen it. He just hasn't produced. But one other thing, he did get Aaron Rodgers and Lindsey to fill out his lineup. I do like Aaron Rodgers. If he's healthy, obviously he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So good pick up there.
Yep.
All right, who we got next?
All right, moving on to our next team. We have Tevin coming up. I'll do it myself. Mr. Thanos himself, he's saying he's going to snap us all away. But here's the thing. Thanos always loses at the end, man. What's up, man? What's up with people picking losers? I love champions, baby. Let's see if he got a championship roster. I'll start this one off. Matt Ryan, I love Matt Ryan. He gets Mr. Sarkisian back running the offense. That's when Matt Ryan was having his MVP season with Sarkisian. So that's a really good pickup. He can put up some big numbers. Matt Ryan is slept on quarterback. So Alvin Kamara, he's actually my number 2. I don't know if you heard me say that last night, but I put Alvin Kamara as my number 2. Only because, man, I like the role that he's in. He knows, we all know that the role that he's in, he's going to continue to play that role, and he fits that role. He's good in that role. He's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way. He's going to be able to feed off of Breeze, and then they have Murray there that's going to wear that defense down, and Kamara's going to pop every time. So I like Kamara coming back, bounce back year 3. Something I am concerned about, man, and we're gonna have to talk about this. How do you feel about this, man? 3 Colts players and starters, man, with no Andrew Luck, brother. How do you feel about that?
Oh man. So I don't know why people are going over with Doyle over Ebron. This is something that's confusing me. I still like Ebron over Doyle. I may be the crazy one here, but
well, let me say this. I like Doyle when Andrew Luck was there. Now with Brissett back there, I don't have any idea like what is going to look like.
So target shares with Brissett, right?
Okay.
Ty had 106.
2017, yes. Uh-oh. Still there, Alex? Look like we lost Alex. There is a poor network connection. All right, it's trying to reconnect Alex, but I pretty much know what he was getting at. 2017, Alex looked up the stats for Brissett's target shares. Hold on 1 minute. Let's see if we're trying to get him again. Yeah. Everything dropped? No, it's staying. We're still broadcasting. But yeah, what Alex is getting at is that just keep get on when you can. Jacoby Brissett targeted Eric Ebron and not Eric Ebron. I want to say, was it? I needed Alex on here because he did some research on this, and I don't want to steal his thunder. So I'm trying to get him back on, guys. There he is. He answered the phone. Hey, he's back.
That was really weird. I don't know what happened. That's not bad.
All right, so we left off with you talking about the target shares with Jacoby Brissett.
Right.
So
target shares with Brissett, I think it's 2017. Ty had 106 and Jack Doyle had 107. So I don't know. He does favor Jack Doyle, but at the same time, this is one of those instances where you have to favor your veterans. You're in an offense that the system works enough, but at the same time, when you need a bailout, you're going to have to go to the veterans, and Ty and Doyle are those guys. So I think these are good pickups. I'll like it, but you're trusting in Brissett at the same time. So if Brissett has a bad game, most of your starters are having a bad game.
Yeah, if not all. Like that's risky business, man. But can he make up the points somewhere else? I do see potential to do that. Because look at Keenan Allen's there. We got Josh Jacobs sitting there. And then I'm really ticked off about this right here. He took Robbie Anderson before me. It hurt. It did.
Yeah, he's got a great bench. Like, I'll give him credit. He kept picking up people right. I'm not joking. The pick before me, because he was the 3. He took so many. Matt Breida. That's one I messed up on. I picked somebody else instead. I can't remember who it was, but it was a receiver, I think. But you got him. Curtis Samuel sitting on the bench, who could have an explosive year this year.
Yeah.
Like you said, Robbie Anderson, Dante Pettis, who could have another explosion. He's got a lot of people who could easily put up numbers. Mecole Hardman, Trey Burton is a definite good backup tight end. I really like that he got Trey Burton.
I love Mecole Hardman, man. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, Mecole Hardman is somebody to watch out for.
Man, what? 3 preseason games and 3 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and they're using him a lot, too. I didn't realize how much they're using him punt returns, kick returns, giving Tyreek some time to, actually develop more into a receiver. Yeah. I think that's really big. So
he's basically going to fill into that Tyreek Hill, like, speed role. Like, how many go routes he's going to get hit on? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, his lineup's pretty strong. Like, I don't see many holes except for that Colts is the only thing you're trusting in.
Yeah, and then you got rotations for that, so yeah.
and a Philly kicker. I don't know why you'd pick a kicker that's in the windy areas. That you never know.
I mean, I guess you could always move that around.
Yeah.
So we're moving. We're
Picking a
moving
Bears
on
kicker
to
obviously isn't right either.
yeah, definitely don't do that. We're moving on to one of the more what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting names in the league. Mark's Droopy Balls, which is
Nice.
yeah. That's Kyle. Kyle's team. So I'll let you hit on Mark's Droopy Balls. Go ahead. You started off.
Way to be discreet about your name. See, this is what I love about fantasy football is you can make the most discreet names. You don't have to put people's names. Oh wait, yeah, he did. Never mind. Okay, so you got, and I'm kind of curious about what pick did he have?
12. He was 12.
Well, okay, that makes a little more sense now. So he went with Connor and Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so. Those are two running backs that I told myself to stay away from. But Dalvin Cook, I really think he can have an explosive year. These are just high risk for me. Connor proved himself last year, but he kind of dropped off, which I was kind of scared about. That's why I didn't take him either. That's risky. Dang, that's risky. I mean, he did get two running backs, so he didn't even have to worry for a while. And that did help him out later because he ended up getting Woods, Ridley, Moncrief, and Fitzgerald out of that. So his receivers are pretty decent. I don't know. What's your opinion on Connor and Cook? I
like Dalvin. I actually had him on my do not draft list as well. For the longest, all summer, you guys know how I feel about James Conner. I was staying far away from him. I don't like his value. He was still going in the first round, early second round. With Samuels, there's so much talk about Samuels coming in and being involved in that backfield. I just don't like it. So it's definitely risky. I would have to go back and look at the draft to see what he had to choose from right there as well. What else fell to him? So, but his team, he was doing really well. He started off really hot, and then you could tell he started slacking later on in the later rounds because Peyton Barber, I don't know, like that entire situation right now, that Tampa Bay situation, that backfield, I'm really hesitant about like investing in it right now. I do like Dante Moncrief. He will step up and be a potential receiver 2 or receiver 3, I was to say, one of your flexor players. Darrell Henderson, I feel like he will be a good backup to Gurley. He's going to be a change of pace back, and this is something else that I was concerned with Darrell Henderson, why I put him on my do not draft list, was because Brown is still involved in that offense, guys. He's still going to get some totes as well, and they might actually like hold Henderson off until midway through the season. If they start winning, which is getting into the Gurley conversation, which I brought up before in the group, if they start winning, Gurley could potentially go to the bench or get less and less carries to save him for the playoffs because they don't want to lose Gurley in the Super Bowl like they did last year. So why not let Henderson get those carries midway through the season, let Gurley rest up, and let him be full strength going into the playoffs? Just a thought. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good scenario. It's a bunch of what ifs, but I mean, realistically, it's something that could easily come true. I mean, the Rams are somebody to be scared of,
Yeah.
Like you said, he has a good change of pace, and a lot of teams are just doing that out of the blue anyways. I mean, we're kind of, besides a select few, the running backs who can handle it, a lot of teams are kind of going to that change of pace. I know Carolina did this a while back with the whole 1-2 punch. Then everybody else started. I know Atlanta was doing their thing. These 1-2 punches can be deadly. So if they use it like that, that's a bunch of what ifs, though.
It is. It is. And that's the beauty in fantasy football.
Yeah. And then Gurley was the number 1 running back last year, and people need to stop forgetting that. Like, Gurley's the guy. We're just worried about his knee. That's it. If his knee can hold up, I don't see a need for any other running back, honestly. I mean, last year they had C.J. Anderson, who was a great backup, And what did he do with Gurley there?
Exactly.
Nothing. So I mean, yeah, it's a good scenario. I mean, they can use that, but really you don't need much. Gurley's fast. Gurley's big. He can break tackles and he can catch. Like what more you want? He's like Saquon and Zeke. They can do everything. So uh yeah, I don't know, man. He does have an interesting bench. I don't know why he took the Titans, Patriots, and Saints defense.
Wow, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
There's our taco. I told you every
Yeah.
league needs a taco, man. And he's our taco, and I love him, man. And he enjoys being our taco. He doesn't mind. He talks trash. He knows. Him and Mark know, like, well, Mark actually has a really good team. We'll get to his team later, but it is what it is. He does have 3 defenses. That's pretty funny, actually.
Hey, I mean, it's not like they're bad defenses. I mean, Patriots, Titans, and Saints defense. I mean, they were all highly rated. So
But you can only play one. You can only play one, baby.
Hey, maybe he's looking for a big trade. You never know.
With a defense, hey, I'm all for it, man. Hey, I might need a defense, so we'll see.
When it comes time for fantasy football, this is why you don't train punch in a bag right here.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, shout out to him trying to be Rocky in the trailer. Shout out to Kyle. Yeah, man, we're playing fantasy football, man. We're not punching each other. And it figures of all people in the trailer, like the whole meme thing that's going around right now where everybody's like, Kyle's punching through drywall. And
Hey, I'll give him credit though. Like his video was the hardest. Like he did have the hardest video.
Hey, I like it, man.
I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit. All right. Who's next?
Moving on to Hobbit Brewing, man. One of our newbies, one of our newcomers, Rody Garcia. So, do you want to hit it up first? Huh?
Yeah, I really like this dude's team.
Okay.
Like I'll give him credit. I'm really big on Devontae Freeman. DJ is somebody who I'm obviously not high on, but he can still be explosive. We all know what DJ can do. He's a potential number 1 running back. Like it's hands down. He has the potential. It just hasn't been there. I really like Tyler Lockett and Brandon Cooks here. Russell Wilson is his QB too. I didn't even pay attention to that. I really like Russell Wilson. I don't know if other people are as high on Russell Wilson as I am. Like this guy is, to me, I think he's top 3 quarterback in the league.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah, a given top 3 quarterback.
Okay.
He can do everything, man, and he can hit those long passes, and he has Lockett right there with him. I saw Lockett. I didn't pay attention that he has Russell Wilson, too. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a good connection.
That is huge.
You want to hear something funny that I'm noticing about him? He actually likes pairing his players. Like Sheldon talked about that before, but he compared. He got David Johnson and Kyler Murray. He grabbed Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett.
I didn't even pay attention to Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I wanted to hit on something that you were sort of hitting on. I'm not big on DJ at all, and it takes a lot for me to say that. And it might be the season he blows up. Now that I'm not big on him, but watching, and I know what everybody's gonna say, it's preseason. You cannot forget that. Yes, it's preseason, but the saying still goes: you practice how you play. And if you look bad in preseason, you're not going to look very good in the regular season. You don't just flip a switch and it just clicks. It doesn't work like that. It's professional football. I'm sorry. That offensive line looks terrible, Alex. It looks horrendous. Like every play, I kid you not, it looked like Kyler Murray was under distress. Like he was all over the place. DJ was getting slapped in the back of the field like every play. It was bad, man. I didn't like it. Kyler Murray, he'll get you some rushing yards, but, man, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. There's a video out when they played the Raiders. He was talking to Antonio Brown, and he went up to Antonio Brown, and he was like, man, like, why are y'all sitting in the house on me, like, every down? And Antonio Brown's like, man, you got to get ready for that, man. Like, this is what you're going to face. You're fast. And that scares me, man. Like, if they can't pick up, like, basic blitzes, what are they going to do when they got to face stunts?
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened to RG3.
Yeah. Well,
he didn't have a great line either. And what they do, they started sending the damn house on this guy. And he got hurt because of that. And now RG3 is not a thing anymore. And that's really frustrating. So if the same shit happens to Kyler Murray, I'm going to be really pissed off that they didn't produce an offensive line for him.
Yeah.
Because that's some scary stuff, though. Like, you get a quarterback as talented as these guys, and they don't help him out that much, you know.
And he's already smaller.
Yeah, I know. And I'm fully in agreement on that. Dude. And yeah, you're right about the whole practice like you're going to play thing. That's one thing I was kind of pissed off at Cam about. You could tell Cam was rusty from that shoulder, too. I know we're going to hit this in a minute, but Cam Newton got hurt because he was acting like an idiot running around everywhere. Partly because of his line, just like Kyler Murray's having to do right now. But Cam is not meant to be running like that anymore. And that's something that we got to fix. And Cam Newton got hurt because he was running like a fool.
We're going to get Alex off the Panthers. He's about to get started.
I'll always go in there. I'm always going that way. All right, let's finish this team because I like the Eckler pickup, too.
I want to ask you one more question, a quick question. How do you feel about that Alshon Jeffries pickup, man? He's always injured, man, but he has him in his flex, which I really like that. So
he's got a lot of flex options. I mean, Jeffrey's somebody who could explode. He's one of those big receivers that's fast at the same time. Like, I mean, he's somebody who could easily take off. Once again, you're trusting on Wentz, though, so that's something that's the one reason I didn't draft him is because I didn't want to have to trust Wentz. But yeah, I mean, he's got Jalen Richard back there to back up Jacobs in case he gets hurt or in case he just doesn't pan out, you know. Njoku, who's he got at tight end right now? Vance McDonald. He's got some pretty good tight ends. I just noticed that.
Yeah, he does, man.
And Conley, too, in the unproven land of Jacksonville receivers. Yeah.
My thing is I like Austin Eckler, obviously. Even when Gordon comes back, he's still going to have his role in the offense. David Njoku, I was hoping he fell later to me. I think he has potential to be really good. Oh, he has 3 quarterbacks. Did you notice that? I don't know if you brought that up. I was trying to share it, our video. But, yeah, Kyler Murray, James Winston, Russell Wilson. You can only play one, fellas. You can only play one. But he does have trade potential, so.
He does, but, I mean, if he's wanting to trust or trade Wilson, I don't know if anybody's going to take bait on Winston. Oh, yeah, Murray, too. Yeah, that's true. Somebody could take the bait on Murray. Huh.
I tell you, I'm not.
No, I definitely won't. No way.
That's too risky. All right, we're going to Cody's team now. Cody himself, I'm really ready to get into Cody's team. Dig in there and let's see what we can find. You want to go first or?
Yeah, sure. I'll go for it. I'll let you do some digging after I talk a little bit. Let's see.
Go ahead.
All right. So Davante Adams. What pick did Cody have?
Cody had pick 9, I want to say.
The Davante fell to 9. Okay, that's pretty normal. You know what's crazy? I've been seeing Davante Adams fall into the second round in these drafts now.
I know it, and that's sort of why I wanted to move to the end of the draft. But I'm glad I didn't because nobody really fell like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, the end of the draft was what? Connor and Cook, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he got Mixon and Adams. I like that duo right there. That's some talent. And then he's got Diggs and Carson too. Man, yeah, his top 4 is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Top 4 is pretty nice. Golf. The only way I take Golf is if I got another Ram with it. Like I don't know if I trust Golf by himself like that. But yeah, he has all this talent around him. Gurley.
No backup quarterback either. He's all in on the Golf. Okay.
Yeah, he is really all in on. That's crazy. Yeah, Allen Robinson. I didn't know he got Robinson too. Huh. I don't like Jordan Reed. I know everybody else likes Jordan Reed. I'm not a fan.
Well, yeah, after the injury, man, after that last injury, like I said last night, man, I hope he does what's right for his body. And if he can't play anymore, just pull a Andrew Luck, man. Just retire, man. Take care of yourself, brother.
Mm-hmm. That's how I always kind of gauge a team. I look at their flex. If their flex is strong, that's a pretty good sign that the rest of their team is pretty solid. And Allen Robinson is an awesome flex. Allen Robinson is somebody who could play as a 2 for me.
Oh,
I still see him as a 2. I like Allen Robinson. Not many people do, and plus you got to look at it too. Who else can fill that spot? You got Cohen, who I've been him over Montgomery for the longest time. Marvin Jones. Yeah, those are
Rashad
people.
Penny. Dang, he got some
Yeah,
good flex options, man.
yeah, he does. And then Golden Tate. That's somebody who I was kicking myself for not getting to. I searched him up, and for some reason my search function wouldn't let me type in stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll just start searching for players this way. And I overlooked Golden Tate because of that.
Ooh,
I'm really, really mad. But yeah, I was wanting to get Tate late, and he got him. So I don't know. This is a solid team. No holes as far as I can see, besides maybe tight end. Did he get a backup tight end?
no,
Herndon?
yeah, and he's suspended
Yeah.
first 4
How
games
was
of the
it?
season.
Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, that's the only real hole. Colts defense. I was actually about to draft Colts defense too, but I don't know. Something talked me out of it. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I mean, he's got no holes anywhere.
Oh man, I see him. Is it my turn?
Go for it.
I'm ready for it. So it's time for me to go. All right, look here, Mr. Cody. I see what you're doing here. I know you're about your numbers, but numbers lie, player. Numbers lie. Sorry, guys. First off, I'm gonna start off with the flex. I am not big. I'm not going to rip Cody's roster up like everybody's thinking right now. I am going to go in a little bit in depth like I did last night. I'm not big on Allen Robinson, and here's why. He's an empty number kind of person, an empty stat guy is I think what I phrased him as last night. And he's like the epitome of empty stats. I want you to look at this with me, Alex. Look at his numbers, man. He gets 8 targets. He only produces 12 points. 7 targets, he only produces 8 points. 8 targets, only produces 9 points. 42 yards, 54 yards. That's super mediocre. I wanted to curse right there, but I'm going to hold it in. Super mediocre, man. I can't deal with that. And then he has one game where he blows up for 31 points, and that's it. Like, in the flex, yes, you can have those 10, 18 points, but this is one of the guys when I went dark last week, I was doing some research on because I knew he would be there later on in the draft, and I couldn't sell myself on him because of these stats, man. He just wasn't there. He was getting all these targets and not doing anything with it. So, what are your thoughts on that?
So I'm like you right there. So I mean, obviously we're all numbers guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you did a little bit too much digging.
Okay, explain.
Allen Robinson. I don't know. That's one reason I wanted to stay away from him, but I don't know. I just had like a gut instinct that this is going to be a better year for him. For one, you're having to trust Trubisky last year. I think that's one reason Allen Robinson didn't really blow up like he was supposed to.
Okay.
And Trubisky is developing into the system still. He still isn't 100% sold in there, right? I think this year he gets more weapons. I don't know. I think he gets a little better. I don't know. It's a personal thing. Like, this is one of those just gut feelings. Like, sometimes when you're drafting, and you'll see it too, you just have some instinct that tells you the numbers are lying. Like, I'm super big with numbers. Like, I'm a huge numbers don't lie. But at the same time, when it comes draft time, I always go against myself. That's why I drafted Le'Veon 100%.
Oh yeah.
Like, if we went by all numbers, how do you draft Le'Veon?
Oh man, we don't. I'm so upset that you took Le'Veon. I was taking him at number 6. So
yeah,
everything happens for a reason.
And it's just that gut feeling that you get. I mean, Le'Veon in the past, because you can go by 2 years ago, yeah, he had crazy numbers. But last year he didn't do anything. Same with Allen Robinson. I mean, 3 years ago, crazy year. 2 years ago, died down. Yeah, and then last year, not much of anything. But he still showed glimpses of what he can be. I think Trubisky, if he starts looking his way, things will go a little differently.
I think about week 3 or 4, Allen Robinson is riding the bench for Cody. And Cody's going to regret drafting him because Allen Robinson is one of those players that I always say, I call them trap players, where they look good on top and then you dive in for them and boom, it was a trap. And now you're stuck in this pit where you don't know if you want to get rid of him because you don't want him to blow up and then somebody else gets him. But at the same time, he's not doing anything. You want to fill that roster spot with somebody else that's doing something. I hate trap players, brother. I hate them. And I feel like Allen Robinson is one of those trap players. Um,
Yeah, but I mean, he did come off of an ACL injury too. Like that's something that you can't just overlook.
oh, and
It's
I
the same
won't.
thing with Gurley. Like I don't expect him to have crazy numbers. I know his injury wasn't as bad as Robinson's, but like, you can't expect him to have crazy numbers right away. But towards the end of the year, he finally started coming back. He had that 31-point game. He had
That was
pretty
midway, bro.
decent numbers. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
and then
when
he
it
fell
started.
off.
That's when. No, it wasn't that bad.
Yes, it was 31, and then the following week he had 6 points, 5 points. He finally jumped up a little bit to 12, then right back down again to single digits, 9, 8, then 12, and then he didn't even play the last game of the season because they already had the bye week.
That's flex numbers, though. I mean, if that's where he's drafted and he has potential to go higher than that.
I can see Cody running Rashad Penny in that flex over Allen Robinson, or even
You're gonna be mad when
MVS.
Allen Robinson goes off for 30 against you. Watch.
Hey, if it happens, hey, look, this won't be the first time I was wrong, and I'm not saying I'm 100% correct, but I just don't see it. Hey, we already have one bet out there. Is this going to be another one? What do we? We'll work out the details later.
Our first bet's falling through because all of our like all of our situations are happening. People getting hurt.
Like everywhere. It's ridiculous. All right, we're moving on to BTK Killer, Bend Thy Knee. I'll start off on this one because I'm really upset, and you know why. Looking at his roster, what's the first name you see?
I'm still trying to pull it up.
Okay, I'll let you pull it up, and I'll let you tell me the first name you see. Shining bright like a diamond, right there on the top of his roster. Yeah, Rihanna reference right there. If you didn't
Let
catch
me
it.
see. I did. BTK. Oh, we're going to Brett's team. Okay.
Yeah, Bend Thy
Oh,
Knee.
Lamar.
Yes, and I was so upset. He took Lamar, but he took Lamar in the 5th. So if it would have hurt a little bit more if you'd have took him around the time I was thinking about taking him. I wasn't going to take Lamar before the 8th, but I was planning on reaching on him a little bit. But he did take him in the 5th. But I think Lamar Jackson's going to produce. He's the ultimate fantasy football weapon. I mean, the fantasy football quarterback. He's going to get you the run, the long runs. He's going to get you the great ball, the great throws. So why'd you not? So he took him in the 5th, which is cool. He also took another person I was looking at, David Montgomery. I actually let David Montgomery pass by, and I'll tell you guys why when we get to my team. Aaron Jones, how do you feel about him? Because I was super skeptical on Aaron Jones. The injury history is there, man, and it's like right in our face. It's like this huge red flag where this guy is always hurt, man. And he's like the T-Mac, man, that great player that just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, at the same time, he's young though. His body's obviously going to progress way better than somebody who's older getting injured. Um, I'm still high on him.
Okay.
I think the numbers are there. Rodgers, as long as Rodgers stays healthy, they've been looking for a consistent running back for how long now?
I mean, forever.
Yeah, and the one that they actually get has an injury issue. But this is, man, I don't know. I would have picked him if he was still there before he actually reached to me. But I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't even know how to feel about Aaron Jones.
And that's the thing. When you don't know how to feel about a player, I don't believe in drafting him. It's too many red flags for me. A lot of injury. I mean, his injury history is just brutal, man. It's ACL, MCL, ACL. It's all over the place, man. It's bad. And he's a great, phenomenal player. I think he fits his system well, but can you trust him for the rest of the season? I don't know. So we'll have to look at his roster and see if he has some good backups. I'm looking at the very bottom. He did grab Malcolm Brown, so there's that. He has Sonny Michel. Oh, but the thick of his roster, the meat of his roster, man, he has a really good team. But the meat of his roster is Michael Thomas and Julio Jones, man. These guys are going to be battling in that division. They're in your division. I know you're concerned with that. A lot of indoor games for Julio this season. That's going to be sexy, man. What do you think?
Yeah, so I skipped past the first 3 names, and the first 2 I saw was Thomas and Julio.
Yeah.
That's a scary duo. I don't know how Julio fell that far. What pick did he have? Like,
Yeah.
how did he get them both? Because
I want to
that's
say
pretty
he pick
interesting.
11 because he took Riley's spot. He was pick 11,
So he went all receivers, and Kyle went both running back. That's why.
and it
Okay.
played out like that. Yep.
So, all right. Here's the thing with this. Going to receivers, you're obviously going to be lacking somewhere. And running back is the obvious area where he's lacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sony Michelle is, all right, let's call it what it is. He's a Patriots running back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to call him an elite running back, but he plays for the Patriots. They use a million running backs. And the crazy thing is, as good of a season as he had last year, James White still had a better year. And that's because Sony Michelle does not catch passes. He just doesn't.
That's what I'm dancing about.
Yeah.
James
He may
White.
get one. His best game that he ever had was 2 receptions for 12 yards. That's what kind of receiving inputs you're going to get. Sony Michelle is a great non-PPR running back, but when it comes to PPR, he's maybe a flex.
Hey,
So,
Hager, 1 minute. I have to get this out, man. This is really funny. Your team is next, but I just got a text message about you, and I have to get it out while we're on live. I'm sorry, but somebody just said, I'm not gonna say who it was. They just texted me and was like, "Man, who was that went heavy at tight end and took Kelts and Kittle? Man, that really messed my draft board up."
and,
I love it. I love
and
it.
that's one reason why I did it, but we'll go over it in a second. All
Yeah.
right. So Hunter Henry, a lot of people are big with him. I think the Chargers just have a lot of weapons. Without Gordon, I think he produces a little better. With Gordon, I don't know. I mean, he's still a good starting tight end. I just don't know if you're going to get elite tight end quality out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a backup tight end at all? I mean, with Hunter Henry, you probably don't need one. He's just a solid like middle end tight end. So
And we know how a certain quarterback loves his tight ends, man, especially in the red zone.
yep, yeah. I mean, he's one of those QBs you can trust too. Like Rivers is one of those guys that will get his guys the ball. So I like that. Latavius Murray, Gallup, Kiki. He's got a pretty decent bench too. Like I'll give him credit. He's got a decent bench. I don't know about Armstead though.
I've been seeing a lot of people hype up Raquel Armstead. I'm not 100% sure on him either. I did. We'll get to my roster later. So that's Fournette's backup. I'm not sure on. I like Malcolm Brown. He is going to be the backup running back for Todd Gurley, but I'm not sure what that really means. At this point, it's just he got him in the last round apparently because it's his last bench spot, but was it really worth it? There's other players out there. I know I see a couple players out there that I would have grabbed instead of Malcolm Brown, but
Yeah.
overall, I really like his lineups, man. I like Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray is a huge pickup if Aaron Jones, like something happens, Sonny Michel gets hurt. He took a risk and so he'll reap some rewards. Getting into the meat potatoes, man. We got you coming up right now. We're talking your team, man. So it's only right. It's only right that you talk over your team and tell us some of your picks.
All right. So, I'll just break it down like this. So the reason why I picked the number 4 pick this year, right?
Okay.
And I did this with every league. And I really messed myself up on it because it's super risky. I knew there was 4 players that would win you a league.
Okay.
And I wanted to be the last person to get the pick. That way I'm the first person that picks in the second round. So I can see who all they got. So now I get the upper hand on those guys. That was my opinion on it. The sad thing is we don't know if Zeke's playing, so that kind of screwed it up. It was obvious Saquon, McCaffrey, Zeke, and Kamara. Like that was the 4. I knew I was going to get one of those 4.
Okay.
And then as soon as Zeke decided he wasn't going to play, I was kind of screwed. So then I had to see, all right, who's the next guy? We had DJ, we had Gurley, we had Le'Veon, all these people that could do it. And then I even thought about going DeAndre. Like I was going to skip out. I know I was definitely going to, but I knew Le'Veon would fall to you. And I knew you were big with Le'Veon too. So I'm like, you know what?
How did everybody know this? Like, I really didn't say too much. I feel like I gave it away on Twitter. Like, I like a lot of Le'Veon stuff on Twitter. I don't know if you ever if you guys are able to see that.
No, I don't pay it. See, I don't pay that much attention. I just know that we know good players,
Yeah.
right? And I knew you weren't going DJ because of your history, even though you tried to hype it up for a little bit. I knew it wasn't happening.
Call my bluff. I like it.
No way. So that's why I went Le'Veon. I think he still has potential this year, especially with the Jets, who have nobody else. Has potential to blow up big time. And then we'll get to the second and third pick with Kelce and Kittle. So with Kelce, I thought it was a no-brainer. This dude's going to dominate tight ends. Like it's a given. You could put him as a wide receiver 2, and he'd probably beat most of your receivers. Mm-hmm. Like I'm still really big with Kelce at a second-round pick. People would take him in the first. I made that mistake in a lot of mocks. Just seeing how it played out, taking Kelce and Kittle back-to-back, and it didn't really work out so well. So third round, I was left with the decision between Kittle and Cooper. And that was it. And I was looking down, and I saw Golladay could still fall. I still had that option. There was some other receivers that I was still looking at too. And I knew how deep receivers were. And I knew receivers that were going to get looked over, like A.J. Green, people like that. So my mindset, I'm like, you know what, screw it. Kittle will be the best flex in the league. I'm like, I don't see anybody's flex producing what Kittle's going to produce.
You think so?
Yeah,
even with the Jimmy Garoppolo, like how he's looking right now, you think so?
The end of the year last year, this was his numbers, right?
Okay.
So the last 5 weeks, 13 points, 34, 8, 14, and 29. His worst week was against Seattle because it's the Seattle defense, right? Their linebackers can cover, so it leaves a problem, which he still went for 51 yards as a tight end. So that was his worst matchup, 8 points. And I believe that was his worst most of the year too. So, how many flexes do you see him putting up those numbers? 210 yards a game, 149 yards.
You're right, man. You're right.
Like, I don't see anyone's flex being able to produce like this. I'm like, so you know what? I'm perfectly fine being a flex option like this. Oh, yeah, you got his stats up right there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's sexy, man. That is those numbers in the flex. But honestly, that's what I was going back to earlier when we were talking about Allen Robinson. And you were like, well, those are good flex numbers. And I'm looking at the league, and that's why I'm like, just look at your flex numbers you're going to be getting. We're talking about Allen Robinson getting 8 or 9 while you're getting 29, 34, 20, 17 in your flex. That's huge.
Yeah, but that's why I drafted Kittle is because he was my flex. So if I'm going to dominate a position, it's going to be tight end and flex. Mm-hmm. So now there's 2 positions right now that I know I'm more than likely going to win every week. That's why I did. Allen Robinson still has good flex numbers, and that's fine. I just wanted to up that. And now I have a flex that's way more dominant than everybody else's. That was my mindset.
Gotcha. I understand. Yeah. And you got Eric Ebron down there as well.
Yep. So the problem with this is you're going to be lacking somewhere, right? Okay. That's why I went running back first, and I knew wide receiver was way deeper. That meant I had to get a running back. Mm-hmm. And I saw Golladay there, and it really killed me. It really killed. I had to go Golladay. So now I'm really hurting for running backs. And then Kenyon Drake, I knew it was going to be my last option. And then to solidify that, I got Jordan Howard as well. A lot of people are missing out on Jordan Howard because I know Philly has all these running backs, blah, blah, blah. But he's still taking all first-team reps. And if Jordan Howard produces like he was in Chicago.
Those the Eagles produce fantasy running backs, man. That offense does produce fantasy numbers.
But most of their running backs are receiving backs as well. So it's something different. Jordan Howard isn't that. He's not a receiving back, and that's what showed in Chicago.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So all right, my lineup: Le'Veon, Kenyon Drake, Golladay. I'm super big with Sterling Shepard just because they have nobody else, and Golden Tate suspended for how many games? 4, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Kelce, Kittle, defense, Houston. So Houston, why did I pick Houston defense? What was it? So obviously their line, right? Mm-hmm. Their line's going to get a shit ton of sacks. Like you can't block Clowney and JJ like that. It just doesn't happen. And then their linebackers can come.
No, Clowney got traded. Finally plays with he got traded to the Seahawks yesterday.
That's,
You didn't see that?
wait, Bonnie got you? Oh, well.
I'm just kidding with you. I'm just messing with you. I just wanted you to do.
I'm gonna say, hold on. I mean, they have plenty of options. That's why I'm not really concerned. Isn't Merciless still there? They have a lot of people that can come at you too. So
Okay.
that was my mindset: is they're gonna force the quarterbacks into causing, crazy interceptions. And then Fairbairn's my dude, so I've been drafting him like every year in case people haven't noticed. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I was actually no, you didn't last year. Remember? I actually
Okay.
traded for Fairburn for Le'Veon Bell. Remember?
get out of here.
I did. You don't remember that? I lost a bet in our lower money league.
Oh yeah, because I went Tucker last year. That's why.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I did go Tucker last year. I lied a little bit. Oh well. So all right, let's hear your opinions on this.
On your roster?
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about your roster. I actually do. I really like the Emmanuel Sanders and AJ Green on your bench. Emmanuel Sanders is going to have a big year with Flacco. I believe he's due. Flacco and Emmanuel Sanders just go together like PB&J, baby. It's just smooth together. They've been connecting since Emmanuel's been back. I think I don't know what kind of production you're going to get from Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know if you'll get a lot of TDs. I don't see us throwing a lot of TDs to Emmanuel. I see us throwing a lot of TDs to certain somebody. I'm not going to say any names. Not giving away too much.
So
Okay, we'll see. Like I was saying last night, AJ Green, he's always going to miss games. It's nothing. There's no way around it. AJ Green is going to miss games. So why not take AJ Green later on in the draft, and he'll miss the first few games, and hopefully you get him for the rest of the season. Like I said last night, I'll be extremely optimistic about AJ Green. I do feel like you took him a little earlier than what I would like. What round did you grab AJ Green? Do you remember?
let's see. Le'Veon, my tight ends, Galladay. I'm pretty sure Drake was 5th, and I think AJ Green was 6th. Let me see. No, drafted 52nd, so I guess it was 5th.
So you took AJ Green in the 5th?
Yeah, I think I took AJ and then Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You took AJ in the 5th. I wasn't willing to take him that high because of just the injury, and like I said, his schedule. I don't like that schedule, man. They have a very, very sloppy schedule. Even when they play the Ravens, I mean, he still has to worry about Jimmy Smith being on them. It's nasty. But other than that, man, sorry, go ahead.
No, I wouldn't say anything. I just wanted to point out I went super receiver heavy too.
Yeah.
Because this is a really deep receiver league this year. For some reason, like it's pretty crazy.
It's a pass-heavy league, man.
Yeah, like my last receiver pick was Adam Humphries, and he's like I'm really planning on him to be really solid this year. Like he could easily be part of my flex. Like he could easily make it into my